Please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host and should only be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information is shared to anyone else. If you are easily offended by people's opinions or views, then thank you for making it this far, but this is not the podcast for you, so see you later. And please enjoy the rest of the show. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Two Men No Hope. Normally, in a real world, it would be the New Year's episode, but we exhausted all of our resources on the last one. So now it's just another fucking episode. So, Happy New Year. Fuck you.
Cheers. Whoa.
Start as you mean to go on, Jamie. Start as you mean to go on.
Yeah.
That's not bad, actually.
So, there was a bit of chaos coming onto this episode. I was dealing with my dog. Decided I'm watching that I think it's called 1869 on Netflix. It's from the makers of Dark, the German show about time travel. Well, I know you wouldn't like it. I know you wouldn't know it, but it's a really like, as you can imagine, dark show. Like, it's like got loads of twists and turns in it,
and it's dark.
But
no lights allowed.
This one's about, like, this series is not about time travel. Well, I don't know yet. I don't know if it is or not, but I don't think it is. It's basically set on a boat,
right?
Like the same era as the Titanic.
Okay.
So, but it's called the Prometheus. And then, so the Prometheus, they find another boat that's disappeared, and they go onto the boat, and there's only one little kid on it, and everyone else there's no one there. And the boat's all fucked up inside. It's still floating, but it's all fucked up.
Sounds like Ghost Ship.
Yeah, it's almost the same. It's and then loads of fucked up shit happens. But there's a geisha in it, obviously, like a Japanese prostitute, Chinese prostitute.
Right.
And I forget Rocco is prejudiced towards Chinese people. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching her seriously trying to do her dance as she's like trying it on with this fella. And Rocco is fully kicking off. And it's so overwhelming because he's just going, and she's like going like this with like the chimes and shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then I'm like, what is going on? And I'm knocking him out of the room. And it's like I'd released a demon inside of him. And then after that, he's been attacking stuff and fucking going after boxes and shit that he's been... The boxes have been there for like fucking 2 weeks and he's attacking it.
It's like the chimes had hypnotized him.
Yeah, it's like
now
somehow...
you can't turn it off.
Because he really hates... I've said it before in the podcast, I think. He's really prejudiced towards Chinese and Japanese people. And he really hates the geezer at the beginning of fucking Gremlins, the little Chinese man.
Oh, yeah.
And then every time I watch that film, because it's one of my favorite Christmas films, every time I watch it, he kicks off during that scene.
Saying about Gremlins, I saw, because obviously everyone's doing Christmas shit podcasts.
Yeah,
I know you. I don't know if you noticed this because I didn't. You know the bit where he phones his dad and his dad's at the convention with like all the different gadgets and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, it zooms out, and in the background, you see the time machine, like the one that was in the Big Bang Theory from the film Time Machine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see that in the background. It zooms in, and then when it zooms back out, the time machine's gone.
Nah.
Yeah, I know that it's real because they played the clip as he was talking about it. So I've seen it. So next time you watch it, you have to. It's on like the back right. You'll see it. I never even noticed. I didn't even know there was a fucking time machine there. But yeah, as it zooms out, it's just smoke and everyone's like running around because it's disappeared.
Nah, that's mental.
Yeah.
Imagine if somehow the studio goes back there after all this time and is like, just arrives at the Gremlins fucking situation.
It's fucking mental, isn't it? But yeah, I agree. Gremlins is a fucking quality movie. We were talking about going to see it at the cinema like last week, but we didn't end up going. I was going to go see that Craven.
Yeah, Craven the Hunter, yeah.
But
I'm scared to watch it.
It's been fucking slaughtered. But Sony is shit. They fucked up Madam Web. Well, they fuck up every film they fucking
Well, Madam Web was horrendous.
Yeah. And it got 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but I don't know whether to trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore because they keep absolutely slating horror films. It's like they've got a thing against horror films.
I think
And then a lot of the horror films have been decent that I've watched.
I don't trust a lot of reviewing things anymore. Like when review companies first start out, they're
Mm.
really like opinionated and stuff like that, and then as they get a bigger a following, they seem to be sitting the fence, or you can tell they've been paid.
Yeah, they're
Like
being like led
IGN,
by certain
yeah,
like companies.
is it IGN? But they're complete fuck now. Like no one trusts them anymore. Like everything they say is complete and utter bollocks. And when it comes to like computer games, the only person I ever go to, if you go on YouTube, there's someone that called Before You Buy,
Mm.
and he's pretty good. Like normally, if you watch him, but I haven't found a reliable movie. Movies, I think, are easier, right? Like if you think it sounds interesting, fucking watch it. That's the easiest thing to do, right? Like that's why I don't watch trailers or anything like that, because it's like, oh, that sounds quite good. I'm going to watch it. Because what's an hour and a half? Computer games and things like that, like days and weeks, and you could end up a month later being like, well, that was a waste of my fucking time.
Yeah, like that transcendence or something, whatever it's called, the one with Megan Fox, that got loads of viral moments because of obviously Megan Fox stripping off in it.
Mm,
But then the movie's marked low, like as a review. But the movie's actually quite good because she plays robotic quite well because she is quite robotic in person.
shit.
And so the movie's actually quite good. But
Yeah.
the people that it doesn't get its props because obviously people are obsessed with her as a person rather than actually the fucking film, and it's just
Yeah.
it's annoying. And I felt the same with the Substance didn't get the reviews that it deserved really because people are more obsessed with the concept rather than the actual how good the film actually was
I felt bad just for Demi Moore because they just went after, but
after her.
it just showed you like they just played out the movie. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it showed that the premise of the film is what it's fucking saying.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then I even commented about her nipples, but I was like, after I said that, I was like, she has had 3 kids. You know what I
her
mean?
nipples are insane. Like
But
she's got a ruler going on there.
yeah, and they like point in different directions. But what did I? Because she gets them out in Showgirls and she gets them out in GI Joe. And to be fair, like her nipples always been quite weird. So maybe it wasn't the kids.
I think someone like Demi Moore, she's doing her rounds at the minute. She's in a few things, and same with Megan Fox. Like they're doing a few things, and like the movie itself, it's like there's a film called Non-Stop. I think it's called Non-Stop.
Liam Neeson.
No,
Non-stop as Liam. Isn't that the one where he's on a plane or something?
yeah, that's the wrong film. It's about a plane. It's on Netflix at the minute. It's got Taron Egerton in it.
Carry on.
Carry On. That's it.
I haven't seen that yet. Mum keeps going about how good it is.
It is good, and it's like got a few corny moments in it. It's a Netflix film, so you got to expect certain things. Jason Bateman plays a really good bad guy in it, which you wouldn't really expect ever. But when I looked at the fucking reviews for it, they're just obsessed with Taron Egerton, whatever his name is. They're just obsessed with him and what he looks like, and I'm just like, that's got fuck all to do with the film.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Nothing
always
to do with the film.
you only can take reviews so far because
Mm.
it's all about opinion. Movies are very much
And
like
I think comedies, it's not a comedy, it's a thriller, but comedies and horrors are not in vogue at the minute.
no, not at
So
all.
they're getting absolutely slated. Some of them getting rated like 3.5 on fucking IMDb, and then when I'm watching them, they're fucking half decent horror films. Some of them are predictable, but there is half decent ones out there.
I can't imagine Craven was like that. Yeah, we watched a horror film on Netflix the other day. It was about a woman that gets paralyzed by a serial killer.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, that was really good. And that's the guy from American Horror Story and the Carnival. Was it the Carnival one?
yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the? Because you know what the fuck is her name? Ellen DeGeneres has come to the UK.
Who's Ellen DeGeneres again? The little blonde
Yeah, lesbian.
woman that used to interview
The
people.
Ellen Show and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so she basically was like, I can't believe Trump won. I'm leaving the America and I'm moving to UK. Yeah, you know, just as her name comes out on the fucking Diddy list. So she comes to the UK. Funny as fuck it. So who in their right mind is able to say they collect mansions, like fucking, what kind of hobby is that? Anyway, that's another subject. But yeah, so she buys this fucking 5 point something million house in the Cotswolds or whatever it is in the UK, and she's there for a week, and then it fucking floods. Fucking brilliant.
I was about to say the Cotswolds is not a good place to fucking buy
But that,
such
for
a big
some reason,
house.
that's where all the fucking celebrities go. But anyway, so then you don't really hear anything about her. And then I saw the other day there was an article that said that the UK are allowing her to be extradited
Yeah.
to America to stand trial in the Diddy thing. So she didn't even get away from it anyway. They're sending her fucking back.
I was about to say, we're like the wrong country if you don't want to get extradited to fucking America.
Yeah, I know, right? So I was just fucking laughing. I was like, house fucking floods or your mansion, and then you get sent back to America to deal with your fucking problems.
We should have gone to the fucking Cayman Islands or something.
Why you would come to the UK? Yeah, I mean, all the millionaires in this country are fucking leaving, and she's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna fucking go over there."
If they think the grass is greener in it. If she comes over here, it's close enough
That she can still go
her
back. Really.
life won't change that much. That's what it is.
But I just thought it was fucking brilliant. You know, it's like everyone has it in them where they like to see people be knocked down a peg, and she's definitely one of them that made me feel good when I saw that she was getting fucked.
Yeah, I heard she was a real bastard in real life to people.
Yeah, because that's how her show ended, right? Like
Yeah.
all of the celebrities and that, and all the people work for her. Like she's a fucking horrible person. And then she comes on the thing, and she's like, "I'm sorry for the way I treat." Fuck off. Fuck
Bit like
off.
that geezer that was in charge of the British MasterChef, isn't it?
The guy that's been done for.
Greg saying he's got.
To be fair, like his things were like food based.
Nah,
Yes, they were sexual, but
he
like
was like hypersexual. He was a rapist. He was like hypersexual. He was saying that, like the woman that wrote his like memoirs thing, his like autobiography. He's sitting there and he's like telling her like he's going to put his hand up her skirt if she carries on talking the way she's talking to him. And then she's like, "I want to leave. I'm feeling uncomfortable." And he's like, "You only want to leave because you can't deal with the penis, the size of my penis and shit like that." He was saying like insane shit.
who has she got that on recording, or is she just saying?
She got interviewed saying about all the stuff, and he doesn't deny it. He doesn't deny anything. He's not even apologising. He's just saying that all middle-aged women that he said it to. That's all he gives a shit about.
I loved there was a clip that came up, and he was like, "I wouldn't put your tart in my mouth" or something, and I was like,
Yeah,
"That
yeah.
cracked me up."
I was, I was just like, this geezer. He's walking around as though he's like, all he is the MasterChef host. That's all he is, bruv.
Well, he's a chef, isn't he? He's actually a chef. Is
Yeah,
he?
well,
Yeah.
but he's got like this. It's like P Diddy had the same thing. Like they think they're so much above people that they can say what the fuck they want in it,
Yeah.
and it's just like, mate, wait until something happens to you and you get your comeuppance, and then turns around and all these women have fucking come out against him, and he's fucking done.
To be fair, though, like people like that are just a circumstance of like to when they brought up, like the years they come up through. Like the English are known for like banter, right? And I'm not saying that the things he was saying are banter. I'm not, if he's like that, he's like that. I'm not justified. I don't even give a fuck about him. But I'm just saying, like, it's gone to the point where we basically started all this like ribbing each other and like banterish behavior and
Yeah.
like digs and jokes and stuff like that. But now it's got to the point where like the English aren't allowed to do that anymore.
Well, I thought with him in particular, it's a bit different with other people because I know what you're saying. Him in particular, I thought it was that. I thought, oh, he's saying it just inappropriate jokes, and he's
Well, that's all I've seen.
Off.
Like the tart thing that made me laugh because I was like, "That's
an
a
inappropriate
food
joke," but he's not got away with it. But no, when he's behind closed doors, he's like fucking standing. He's like when some showrunner come and did something, he's deliberately took his clothes off. And like he's standing in front of the door, and like she's trying to get out, and he's just standing there, like his towel slips off, like he's doing weird shit. I was like, do you know what it sounds like when they were talking about? Do you know when Mike Tyson was on coke and he was just fucking getting in trouble with women left, right, and centre? That's what Greg Wallace was doing, but he was like, I've gone through a body transformation. Do you want one as well or something? And he was like dropping his towel and shit. He was doing some weird ass shit, but I do get what you mean. Like the banter side of things has taken away from the UK. has been taken away. Like,
you
we
get
can't say half the shit we used to be able to say.
No, and all these like new laws that are coming out where it's like, if you say this about someone, you can be arrested. It's like, but they're allowed to say it to us. Like, what's going on here? Like, why?
Well,
Like the hate
my
speech and all
mum
that.
has to fucking put her pronouns in her email when she sends an email to someone through work.
Fuck that.
And that's an actual, like, they have to actually do it. Like, they can't not choose not to do it. So they're actually forcing it on them.
That's mental. I still think pronouns should be like a private thing, right? Like, I don't need to know what you do if you're.
We had a sex. What's the thing where they tell you what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do? Like a sex.
I know what you're talking about, but my mind's gone blank.
Sexual harassment.
Sexual, yeah.
Like
One,
seminar thing.
not even one half can,
And we're gone. Yeah.
My brain's fucking mush.
This is why we stopped drinking on the podcast, Dan. Sexual harassment thing, like course that we had to go through at work. Yeah. And on that it says, which we questioned, was we're not allowed to talk about someone's sexuality or their sexual orientation. But then, in other words, like in this day and age, people all they want to do is talk about their fucking sexual orientation and their gender.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I was like, where does that leave us? And it was like, well, don't ask, just don't ask. So I was like, so we just don't ask. But if we misgender them, I'll be in trouble for not asking. And they were like, well, that'll be a grey area as long as you didn't ask. And I was just like, right, okay. Just misgendering. Misgendering is the most annoying thing in the world as well. Before we start ranting,
I've got to the point where I just don't care now. Like, I'm quite happy if you do whatever you want, but don't expect me to fucking. You know what I mean? There's some fucking amazing clips out there. Like there's an old woman and she goes to some guy like, oh, I think she asked him like, what's your gender or something, and he goes, well, and she goes, fucking here we go. I'm just like, that's fucking amazing.
That is what I think when people start.
Yeah, you just roll your eyes, isn't you?
Yeah, I was in Weatherspoons not a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and we're talking, and just in general in the smoke area, I overhearing someone talk about a conversation, and it was like what I would say is a young guy who's transitioning into a woman, and he's saying how his mum's not accepting him, and then his mate, who I thought was just a guy, or her mate, or whatever, but I don't know what their situation was. I thought was just a guy saying, oh, well, my mum doesn't understand that I'm just neutral and that I'm non-binary and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like thinking to myself, well, you're standing there in a puffer jacket with like a snood on in a tracksuit. So like you are confusing people, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You're not dressing the way that you're supposed to be dressing it in the way that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I'm just looking at him thinking, I'm just waiting for my mate's cigarette to fucking go out so I can fucking go inside, so I'm not listening to this shit anymore. I was just like, mate. But a few more points in me, I probably would have been in the middle of their conversation asking them what's going on. Do you know what
I'd be
I mean?
doing that thing where like my eyes are like glass, but I'm just staring at them without realising because I'm listening to their conversation.
Yeah.
And then when they turned around and they're like, have you got a problem? I'll be like, well, if you're going to ask. No, I don't have a problem, but I don't want to hear you talk about it. Shut up.
Just like in the background, just smoking a cigar in the dark, like in the movies, isn't it?
The good old days. But what are you gonna do? I'm doing this year because at Christmas we like started bringing stuff with us, and last year Sabina made like this really nice cheesecake, which she's gonna make again this year. And me and Mum tried to make a trifle last year. Like, do you like trifle?
A hit and miss. It has to be a good one.
Well, obviously most of my family except my stepdad and Sabina can't have like milk or anything.
All right.
So we got the box mix stuff that has like the jelly powder and that in it, and we used like alternative milk, and it just didn't set. It was a bit shit.
Mm.
So I was like, this year I want to do it myself. So I'm doing a pre-test.
Are you doing a dry run on the trifle?
Yeah, because I don't know, because obviously I've never made custard before. So I did the jelly yesterday. It's going to be weird because this comes out like a week after Christmas, and I'm talking about, I haven't even got there yet.
Well, this will be during people's Christmas period still, so at least there would be a...
But yeah, so before we came on the podcast today, I managed to get home early enough to like do the custard, and it looks like custard, but I can't tell you what it tastes like yet. but it's in the fridge like chilling before I put it on top of the jelly because I didn't want to fucking fuck the
Yeah,
jelly
you
up.
don't want to fuck it up.
So my dinner tonight will be an entire trifle.
Jesus Christ! But like the podcast is doing a full circle. We're back on the beers. Dan's eating weird shit. Like we're
But Sabina doesn't really like. I lie. I'll probably eat half of it and then eat some tomorrow because we're recording again tomorrow. So I'll save it for tomorrow. But it depends how good it is. I might just get lost in the moment, Jamie, and then there's an empty bowl in front of me.
and you're just feeling like you're gonna shit yourself instantly because you've eaten so much jelly. It's just sliding through your body.
But yeah, so it's all like I use all like not vegan stuff. Well, technically, it is vegan stuff, and like the cream and everything. It's all so fingers crossed. But the annoying thing is right. It's like when I did my theory. Every time I did the practice, I would like fail, pass, fail, pass, fail, pass. And luckily, when I practiced in the morning before my theory, I failed. So then when I got there, I passed.
Yeah.
So if this turns out all right, when I do it again next week before Christmas Day, it's going to be shit. Because I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing now.
And then you'll go in too confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it up or miss something. Like when I made cookies before and I forgot something in it. And when it came out, it was just one massive tray of cookie. Because it just fucking...
So what are you going to do? You're going to do it on Christmas Eve?
So I'm having to... well, most people are. I'm working Christmas Eve. So I'm going to make the jelly and the custard on the Monday and put them in the fridge. And then the Tuesday, when I finish work, I'm going to assemble everything and take it to Mum's.
Right, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, so that should be okay. But we've got like a massive plan because Sabina wants Czech potato salad, but everything Czech takes like days to make. So she's starting that Sunday, like doing all the potatoes and all that
Potato
sort of stuff.
salad as part of the actual meal?
Yeah, so they have potato salads and they make like chicken schnitzels. And you would just have like that and potato salad.
As their Christmas dinner?
Well, no, normally for like Christmas, they have like fish head soup.
Christ.
And but Spino didn't like it, and there's no way I'm fucking doing that. But no, their Christmas is quite good. So they make loads of little things. So you get like little biscuits and like the potato salad and all that. And you just their Christmas, you sit around as a family and friends, and you like nibble at little bits and you get drunk and you chat and stuff like that. Like it's not like our Christmas where you eat as much as you can and then fall asleep for like 4 hours. Yeah. Like theirs is like an all day gathering, talking, enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, which is quite nice. So, but yeah, she really wanted the potato salad, and I've never had it, and I'm like, fucking bring it on. So we've got to make that, and then we're making all the different biscuits to take with us because Mum really likes them. And then we also want to make goulash and dumplings for like Boxing Day. So it's all this stuff we've just got to pre-prepare, and she's making the cheesecake, and I'm making a trifle.
Yeah, it's a lot of, we usually put in a lot of work. What we've been tasked with bringing over like a starter because Mum normally does like a prawn cocktail for.
I love a prawn cocktail
for a starter. So we're doing like a mixture of like cheeses, like cured meats, and some prawn cocktails, like on like a big platter.
Yeah,
that we're going to bring around.
That's a good idea.
And just so people can pick at it rather than because Mum is going to get drunk and box at Christmas Eve, be hungover Christmas Day, and then the dinner will take 4 years to cook because Mum's in a state. Last year she was like getting sick as she was fucking. She'd have to run up the stairs. Yeah, my dad helps her, but we call him the drunken elf in it because he slowly gets drunk throughout the day and he becomes less helpful. So we're bringing that. We've put that all together. That's all bought. That we just need to put it all together, and then Sunday we're bringing over because there isn't enough chairs and stuff at my mum's house, so that we're bringing over some chairs and all of our shit, all of our alcohol, all the presents that we've got for everyone. Mm-hmm. We're going to leave it all in the spare room at mum's house. So then on Christmas Day, we don't have to worry about bringing anything more than Rocco and the food because trying to get through the door is chaos. Like you've been to my mum's house, they've got like the hallway doors, haven't they?
Yeah.
So you're like walking in, you've got me, 15 bags, food, Rocco, their dog. My dad stands in the hallway because he thinks he's helping, but he's not. He's just standing anyway, and it just becomes a whole thing. So I was just like, we'll just leave it all there a few days earlier in preparation. And Charlotte's like, you're being over prepared about it. I was like, I'm just thinking, just trying to save myself a bit of hassle on the day.
Yeah, no,
Do you
that's a
know what
good
I mean?
idea. I might do that as well. Like, if I can get all the presents wrapped and say to Sabina, because
So they're just sitting there.
yeah, because I'm not going to finish like because my place is a cunt in bollocks.
Mm.
With the travel time home, I'm probably not going to get back until like 5 o'clock.
It's
So
better
if
than what
like,
our place. I nearly caused an uprising because I'm on late shift next week,
oh yeah,
and they were trying to. Normally, in the last 8 years I worked at that place, they've said 4 hours on if it's on the last day of opening. So
yeah,
whether it was Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, or whatever, the last day of opening would only work 4 hours.
yeah,
This time round, they're like, "Oh, you got to come in and do the late shift both Monday and Tuesday." That was their original stance. I almost caused an uprising because I was like, "If I'm in here at 9:30 at night on Christmas Eve, you lot better be looking for other jobs because I'm going to set a fire in this place and the place is going to burn down." And then they were like, "Are you being serious?" I was like, "Yes, deadly serious. Like we're not coming in and doing that. And never in my life have we done it." So then there was negotiations going back and forth. We were finding out what other sections were doing because everyone's doing different stuff.
yeah.
And then turns out we're doing like 10 to 6 on the Monday, and then a 6 to 11 if they allow us to go at 11 on the Tuesday. And if they allow us to go at 11 on the Tuesday, we all said that we'll go down to the pub for a pint before we all head home.
Wait, 11 in the morning or 11 at night?
11 in the morning.
Okay.
So we was like, yeah, that's fine. But then they're like, but you might have to do the whole 8 hours. I was like, but never have we done the whole 8 hours. And I was like, still trying to fight it. But I can guarantee on that Tuesday, I'm still fighting it. On Christmas Eve, I will still be asking at like 10 past 11, are we going or not? Are we
Yeah,
leaving or
yeah.
not? Because they just don't tell you. It's like the British government. They think not telling you things is helping, but it's not helping nothing.
No,
You just
no,
get
not at all.
angry. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
Yeah, that's fucking mental.
There's no time between us recording all this week and then I'm out for my works drinks at the weekend. I ain't got time. Sunday's the only day that I've got time to bring stuff over to my mum's house, so
Yeah,
I've
no,
got
that's
to
a
do
good
it.
plan. I might do that. I might say to Sabina about it.
Mm,
It might be a little less stress because we're constantly trying to bring boxes every time we come back. So obviously, like Sabina is like moving here,
yeah, yeah,
so it's like trying to do that all the time. So like if we're here over the weekend before we go back, I'll be like, oh, because we've only got like the presents to take over, and then we take like obviously our clothes next. We stay for a couple of days,
yeah.
so the mum gets all the food. Yeah, I might say to Sabina about that. That's a good one. It's a good plan. I would say about, do you want to talk about the presents that you bought? But she might hear you.
Well, Charlotte,
Because obviously this comes out after Christmas now, so we can talk about it because no one's going to hear it.
yeah. I got Charlotte. She likes this certain brand called like Andiola or something. It's like a clothing brand, expensive clothing brand. I bought her some like funnel shirt things from there,
Oh, yeah,
and I got her like some bath bomb sets and some like face masks and stuff. Pretty standard gifts.
well, that's not bad. Yeah, so
Yeah,
wanted. Well, I don't know if she still wants it, but I bought it for her anyway. She spoke about an e-reader, which got Kindle,
yeah, yeah.
because when she goes to Glasgow and that. So I was like, oh, I found one that's in like matcha green color, and it's like got a light on it that you can read in the dark and stuff like that. So I was like, oh fuck it, I'll do that. And then I found these books by, they're not, so I got her Alice in Wonderland, but they're illustrated by someone called Mina Lena or something. Mina Lima. But anyway, so they're like not interactive, but like as you read, there's like things like spin round and like open up, and they do like Little Mermaid, Secret Garden, and all this sort of stuff.
All right.
So I bought one of those because I thought that'd be quite cool. They did. She loves Harry Potter. They did do like a set of 3 Harry Potter books, but when I was doing my research on it, they were like, they're not going to do the rest of them. So I was like, I'm not going to buy a
Part
3,
set.
yeah, and then them not finish it off. So I was like, fuck that. Maybe if she likes it, I might consider it for like Valentine's Day or something.
Mm.
But yeah, and then I just got her some like Lego and a board game because we love our board games. My said about my brother wants to be a chef. I got him a Czech cookbook,
Okay.
and I've been cooking out of it. It's fucking quality. It's a quality book. And I got him a Wagamama one as well. So he's got Eastern European, and then he likes Asian food. So the Wagamama one's quite good because it teaches you about how to make broths and different sauces, and even how to make like ramen noodles.
Okay. Yeah. So that will suit people.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought it was like a good mix because he said he hates British food. He doesn't hate British food. He just finds it really boring.
Well, it's fucking, what is it? It's fucking dull war food, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's what I said to him. I was like, yeah, Jamie don't like it either. But I
Mm.
was like, yeah, the cook bits are a bit. If you can cook like sausages and you can make mashed potato, you can pretty much make
Every British dish.
every British dish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't get him that, and I was like, and he is like, I don't like Italian, and I'm like, and I'm not buying you French because French can fuck off. So yeah, so I got him those, and then Mum was like, what do you want from him? And I was like, I found a Polish bakery book.
Mm.
I was like, I'll take that. Yeah, I mean, because they're pretty close to Czech, so they have a couple like in common.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I'll fucking take it. It's in English as well, so I was like, happy days.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to fucking translate it. That would be the worst.
Well, I want to get a proper Czech one
Mm.
because obviously with Google, it's so easy to translate things now. But I couldn't find one. I'm gonna have to keep looking. I'd love to.
You might have to get one in Czech.
Yeah, that's what I did have a look briefly, but some of them were they were a bit like fancy bakery stuff, like little dainty bollocks. I'm like, fuck that, I'm not gonna constantly about those. But I said to her, I was like, I'd love to, because I said to her, we want to go to Germany and I want to go to like Oslo and stuff like that. I'd love to, when we visit these places, find a cookbook or like a bakery book from them when we visit. Have like a little
Yeah.
collection going.
Yeah. That would be good as well because it will give you like almost an encyclopedia of where you've been as well.
Yeah, for sure. That's the best way. I like it. So yeah, I'm still thinking about that. But after Christmas, I'm buying myself that cookbook I bought Logan because it's got some pretty. And one of my favorite things is it's called Udapensi, but it's translated to drowned sausages. I've told you about it before. So it's like a jar of sausages that's like pickled.
Yeah, you and your jarred shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So and the recipe is in there for that. And I'm like, it's easier just to buy them. They're like £5.
I was like, leave them in storage for 7 years and see.
I don't know if they last that long. I found a jar that I'd opened in the back of the fridge the other day, and I'm like, oh, they're not any good anymore. Fuck. There's like 2 sausages left in there. Gutted.
Mate, I in the fridge the other day, I was horrified. Absolutely fucking horrified. Because you know I'm weird about dates. Ever since I worked at Co-op, I've been weird about dates. Like, even if something's on the day, I'm very skeptical whether I'm going to eat it or not. Like, I've got weird about it. I smell things all the time. I'm like super weird over food and stuff. And then we got the butter out, and I'm just about to start buttering my fucking stuff. And I look down, and I look at the lid of the butter, and it said September 24. It was 4 months out of fucking date, Dan. And I've been using that over the last 4 months quite often.
Yeah, but it's an advisory, Jamie. You know what I mean?
It's not an advisory, Dan.
It is.
I've been thinking my stomach's pretty bad recently. What's going on? I've been shitting a lot more than I should be, and and then I'm standing there. I'm like, what? And then like I'm thinking about all the times I ate it, and I'm just like making myself feel sick, and how many bacon sandwiches that's ruined and stuff like that. And Charlotte's like, get over it. It's fine. Don't worry
You're
about
such
it.
a girl.
And I'm just like, no, fucking September. It's fucking December.
I was going through the cupboards the other day, and I found a hot chocolate bomb thing that I got last Christmas, I think, and it had run out last year. Well, it must have been earlier than that. And I was like, I wonder if that's all right. So I made it, and I had a bit of it, and I'm like, I don't think that is. But I still gave it a go. Couldn't throw it away without trying.
Do you know, a lot of it derives from, I was sitting with an ex-girlfriend once, and we ordered from the fish and chip shop, because in Scotland a lot of the fish and chip shops do like sweets in the shop as well. And so I ordered a Boost bar, And when it turned up, I just bit straight into it, didn't even look. And it was like the Boost bar was snow white and just like completely and utterly off. And that taste in my mouth was enough to put me off for 10 years.
I've eaten white chocolate, like chocolate bars before.
Yeah,
It's just bloom.
white chocolate is a lot of the time just because it's been heated. But
No, like chocolate that's been left that's gone white. It's called blooming.
yeah,
Yeah, I've eaten stuff like that. I found a Mars bar on my windowsill once when I was living down in Luton.
yeah, but this when I looked down, this Boost was 3 years out of date, and it was, and it tasted. The only way to describe how it tasted was like a Christmas pudding, like a really sharp, sweet taste with like a strange like texture to it. It was fucking awful. And I just remember I didn't eat the fish and chips that night. Nothing. It just put me off everything. I was just like getting sick. Ever since then, I really get funny.
I love it. I fucking eat anything. I'm gonna try and get some. Why has my mind gone blank? Because it's a Czech word and I've forgotten it. Looking at you doesn't help. Why do I look at you, James?
Could eat carp. Next
It's
time
like
you're in Czech, go to eat carp. That's fucking horrendous.
it's like jelly, but it's got like meat and stuff in it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it basically looks like dog food.
No, it looks like meat in jelly. It doesn't look like dog food at all.
Yes. What is dog food? Meat and jelly.
Anyway, Jamie and his inability to try new food.
Inability.
Yeah, that's gonna really fucking annoy me now that I can't remember what that's called.
There's trying new food and there's trying weird shit.
It's not
And
weird
I'm
shit. It's
I'm not
cultural,
into
Jamie.
weird.
Like you go to a place that eats different than you. It's not weird.
Yeah, when I was in Czech, I tried different things. I tried different things in different countries, but I pick and choose based on, because when someone tells you, I've learnt this with alcohol as well. When someone tells you it's a delicacy, Greece, Turkey, all these countries tell you they got delicacy alcohols. Yeah, you try them, they're fucking disgusting. They're fucking disgusting, and they give it to you because they think it's funny. That's why they give it to you.
Yeah, but it's not funny when you enjoy it because that's how I do it. I just try everything. I'm just
Mate,
like,
you
oh
wouldn't.
yeah, I'll have a bit.
I've never met a person on this earth that enjoys ouzo. I've got to show. I've got to
But
give
yeah,
you
that
a
stuff
bottle
is
of ouzo.
shit.
Yeah,
Ouzo is disgusting.
yeah. And they give you it at the end of your meal, thinking like, and you're thinking, oh, I'm getting a complimentary shot of something here. Oh, it's really exciting. They give you it, and your fucking eyes water, and so does your bumhole, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Lachenka, that's what
Okay,
it's called. I had to Google it because it was
that
driving
isn't
me
what I
mad.
thought it was.
Lachenka, yeah, it's fucking quality. You cut it up into like slices and then you put like vinegar and onions on it. I'm sorry, the wind is coming now. Jamie's hasn't had to deal with burping for a long time, and now it's all coming out at once.
I'll be keeping it in the edit to wind people up.
I can't help it. Yeah, Lachenka, I fucking love it. I'm going to try and get some. That and Udapensi, I'm going to try and get to take to mum's to get Logan to try. Because if you're a chef, you should know what these things taste like culturally, right?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, like you got to try all different foods so you can like, find different ways to use them.
Mm.
That's the best chefs anyway. Like they use everything. All these chefs that like only use like certain cuts of meat and stuff like that, then you ain't, no, you got to do everything.
That's for them just doing what they like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, you got to make fucking everything. So I'll be taking that with me, and I enjoy it anyway. So I'm lucky that way.
So it's semi-selfish.
It is, yeah, because I know that no one else will eat it, especially Sabina. So I'll just be sitting there, chowing down. I mean, she'll eat the drowned sausages. When you go over into Czech, you can get like a massive jar. It's got like 20 sausages in it. Fucking well good. The only problem I have is though, like, because it's obviously pickled, and then once you've eaten the sausages, there's just like onion and like all the everything in it. And to me, I would chuck that away, but they all like use it for, well, I don't know, whatever they want. It's like in America where like when I get pickles, I would just pour the pickle juice away, but
A
they
lot of
fucking
people use
drink
it
it,
for
don't
like
they?
dirty martinis and stuff.
And dirty my tea, yeah, yeah. Where I would just be like, well, that's just the waste, isn't it? Throw it away.
I would not buy it in the first place.
Do you not like
Charlotte,
pickles?
I like pickles in a dish. Charlotte likes to get them out of the fridge and just eat them, which just
Yeah.
freaks me out.
Give me a gherkin any fucking day, mate. I love them.
As you know, I'm the man that's left a woman over a pickled egg, Dan. I've left a woman over a pickled egg. She stunk my room out. She turned up Sat at the end of my bed, opened it up out of a fucking little tea towel that she got out of the fucking fish and chip shop, and went like this, and ate it like a fucking seagull in front of me. That day, I left her.
I've
I
never.
left her.
That's the same thing with like the jar that you get in like a bar or something like that. I've never seen anyone eat a pickled egg or anything like that.
Well, this fucking girl. It was the second time I see her eat one, but the first time was in public, so I didn't get like a waft of the fucking stench that comes from it. Because as you can imagine, pickle's got a brine's got a certain smell to it anyway, and then you've got the actual egg creating the smell, and then like the sound of just her munching it was enough to make me think I've had enough of you.
I don't mind a pickled onion either. I haven't had them in a while, but I don't mind a pickled onion.
Like, you'd love my house because Charlotte's got all kinds of bullshit in my fridge. She's got a jar of olives the size of pickled eggs.
Oh, I don't mind olives.
I told her
quite
that she's on the edge with these olives. They're that big. They're from Costco. They're on the edge of a size of a pickled egg. I said, if you eat them very quickly in front of me, I said, you're on the edge of a divorce. Disgusting.
Made me laugh when you came back from Czech. Obviously, and you were talking about food. I was very disheartened because I'm very protective over food, especially when it comes to Czech. And you were very like,
I liked everything I had, other than the carp dumpling,
and the Swiss bar, which is my favourite.
Shish kebab was alright, but it's just I don't understand the element of the jam in it and the cream.
So
I felt it ruined the dish for me.
So like Sabina could hear the tone of my voice. I don't know if any of the listeners could. Like when you were talking about it, I just kept trying to change the subject because I was getting more and more wound up. And then when you said something like you were like, "Oh, you should go to this restaurant, Dan, because it's Czech food, but it's elevated."
It was elevated,
and that set me over the edge. And I was probably trying to change the subject after you said that because I was like, I'm not gonna. And I went to Sabina. I was like, "What does it mean, fucking elevated?" I was like, "Czech food doesn't need to be fucking elevated. It's amazing."
Well, every food needs elevated.
No, it doesn't need elevated. This is what I was like. Does. I held it all in. No, it doesn't.
Like if I went to like a pub, say, and a pub lunch, and then I went to like a restaurant that does similar food, similar steaks, and similar like pies and stuff in London, and it was all done better, then that's elevated.
But to me, you're just saying that Czech food isn't good enough on its own.
No, because I had the shish kebab and all the other stuff in a normal Czech restaurant, but I went to another place where they did elevated Czech stuff because there was stuff that I wouldn't try normally, and it was really good.
1 second. Fucking hate Skype. Such a piece of shit. Yeah, no, I don't. I like. That's what I was getting so wound up. Like, and she was like, "Oh, you're getting too protective over like Czech stuff," and I was like, "It's mine."
Yeah, you are. I
was like, "It's mine,"
because that's not what I'm saying at all.
I was like, "I don't like to share."
It's like the difference between going to like a street food place in Japan to go into like a elevated high end restaurant. That's two different things.
Yeah, but I don't like elevated bollocks.
It's not bollocks. It's the same bollocks. Food.
To me, when you go to a different country, I want to have that food. I don't want someone to reimagine something. I want to have the original. To me, the original is the dish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I was eating the street food in Czech and going to the rustic place, and then when I was actually going for a proper meal, I was going for a proper meal in a proper restaurant, like a big restaurant. Yeah,
see, that does interest me. It's just me and you in different... It's just the way we think, right?
Yeah, I think you're just getting too protective over it, bro.
No, but I mean in general, like I'm not trying like I mean in general in Czech. Like if I went to like Germany, or like I went anywhere, Japan or anything like that, I would find just the one that everyone goes to, right? Like because to me, that's the culture. That's what you're tasting the food that people grew up with.
Yeah, but you do both. In my eyes, you would do both because that's like a comparison. Because obviously, there's still the place in Czech was still a Czech place, was still run by Czech people and doing all their stuff, but they're just doing it to a new level, modernising the food, making. Yeah,
see, better. I'm not. That doesn't interest me. That's what I'm trying to get at, right?
Like it doesn't. Between a Miller and Carter and a good steak restaurant, it's like it's the difference.
Nah, see, that's what I mean. It just doesn't interest me. Like I don't want to know your interpretation of something. Like if I go to visit a country, I want to try their food. I want to try the food that is like authentic to me. Like, I don't want to try new garbage that comes out and it's like a fucking centimeter long and it's in different fucking shapes. That doesn't interest me. Like, I want. That's why I love Czech so much, because Sabina, I've gone to her families and they've cooked me authentic Czech food, and to me that's now a staple. Same with like English food. Like, if I went to a pub lunch, like you said, like, and I had a steak pie and mash, that's the staple now. Like, if you can come out and you can tear it apart and stack it in a different fucking.
Yeah, but if you have a steak and a Weatherspoons, it's going to be shit.
Yeah, but obviously because
If you
that's
have a
like
steak
trash,
and
isn't it?
a
But I'm not saying about going to trash.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like a steak and a Weatherspoons is going to be different to if you were going to like a decent steak restaurant.
Yeah, but I'm just not interested in. I know that new high end bollocks is where people make their name and makes their money and stuff like that. But to me, if I visit a country, I'm not interested in. Like, I'd
No.
much rather go to a country and somehow go to someone's house and their nan make me whatever the country's dish is,
Mm.
and you know what I mean, because that's where all the history is. And then you got that's just what interests me in the food sort of theory of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's about looking at reviews and stuff. Like we were looking at reviews for the place that we went in, Czech, and it said good traditional Czech food with a difference. And then you go there, and it was different to what we had in the other place, but it was still traditional Czech food. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it is what it is.
yeah, yeah. But I
Although
mean, yeah,
you didn't think duck was a Czech dish, and that's all over Prague. As duck is on every Czech menu.
no, because I asked Sabina and she goes, the only thing they do with duck is, I can't remember what she said. She was like, duck isn't a, yes, we do duck, but like everyone does duck, we do duck.
Mm.
And English isn't, a duck isn't an English dinner.
Well, it's a massive thing in Prague.
You say that though, but I've never. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this argument because that was another thing that pissed me off, was the duck thing. I don't want to talk about it. Fucking duck.
Bruv.
Such a stupid. And please remember that all the opinions in the show are those of the host. It shouldn't be taken as food for thought. We're in no way telling you to do anything. Everything is kept anonymous for the safety of the listeners and no information shared to anyone else. If you're easily offended by people's opinions or views, and thank you for making it this far, but it's not the podcast for you. See you later. Please enjoy the rest of the show. Please go get some merch for the new year. Start the new year off well. Snazzy t-shirts and some hats and things like that. Still cold. Good hat would do you well. And Essence Vault was there. And fuck the duck. Fuck the duck, man. It's just, you're just rounding up another argument in front of Sabina now.
I'm glad she agrees that it's just you're being overprotective.
Not about the duck, but yeah, she is. Yeah, I don't like sharing. I spoke many times on this podcast. I don't like to share, and Czech to me is like a woman, right? And you've gone over and you've walked all over my women, and then you come back and you're like, "Oh, Czech food needs to be elevated, and duck's a big thing over there." And I'm like, "Fuck you, Jamie. Fuck
Mate,
you."
duck might be a big thing in Prague, maybe not in Czech, but it's a big thing in Prague. And when I talk about elevated, I do the same thing everywhere I go.
Yeah, so that annoys me as well.
Oh, Dan. What would be a...
But that's statism, right?
Yeah.
That's just sharing. Because like, to me, I'm like
It's like
learning.
when I was in Porto, I went to a Franzina place that was the traditional Franzina, which is what Porto is known for, which is like a cheese sandwich with like a beer IPA thing on it.
All right.
We went to the traditional place, and then we went to another place that happened to do with Francina as well. And I thought, oh, I'm going to try this one because this is a high end restaurant. And it was the exact same shit that come out. It was the exact same, almost the same plate come out. And so that goes to show what a lot of them places were. And that's what it was like in Czech when we were having the all the like the sausage, like the I can't remember what the traditional sausage is called. Looks like a chorizo thing. That when we had that, it was exactly the same in the traditional place as it was in the high end restaurant. That's when you know what's translating and what's not to other people,
Mm.
and that's what I like because I'm a foodie, innit? I'm into food. That's why I'm so fucking fat.
You say that though, but you're into like high end food, not into like food. Like, you won't try jarred stuff, and you won't.
Well, for me, pickled stuff is preserved because they have to try and preserve it. Like, I'm not into that shit, innit? I would eat raw fish to the high end of the things. I would eat loads of different stuff. I would try all kinds of things, but when it comes to stuff that's like pickled and cold, I'm not interested in it.
Me and you are just two different types of foodies. Yeah, I mean, I have no interest in high end, not at all. Like, even if I won the lottery, I wouldn't go into a high end restaurant. I wouldn't touch it.
Which is strange because you're so into sushi, and sushi and Japanese food is pretty much what's in vogue at the minute for high end restaurants.
Yeah, but I would rather just go to a normal. I purposely look for the place where no one's going. Yeah, I mean, I'm not interested in the gimmicky. Like, if I went to a restaurant, someone took and brought out a plate to me, and there was a square of like bread on it with like a smear, and I'll just take it back. I was like, I'm not eating that.
No,
If you
I don't normally
smear
go. I don't
anything,
normally like that's Michelin star. I wouldn't normally go Michelin star.
if you smear anything on my fucking plate, whether it's tasty or not, it's going back. I even hate that word. Smearing is such a fucking bullshit. Here's some pea sauce. I'm gonna smear it across your. No.
Yeah, it's just artsy bullshit.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
happening.
the way. Do you remember in the 90s they used to always put like a fucking like a flower on something or edible flowers?
Yeah, and edible flowers. And
It's the new edible flower. It's because it's the same with truffle oil. I get a real thing. Like it ruined a breakfast for me when we were in the last day of Prague because the scrambled eggs had truffle oil in them. I was just like, it's just leave the scrambled eggs alone. You don't need to put truffle on it because truffle oil is super overpowering.
I don't think I've ever had it. I don't think I've ever had truffle oil.
They put it in a lot of the time. They put it on chips, or they'll put it into like a side dish.
Right.
They'll put it in mac and cheese. They do a lot of the time, and you get it. They do it instead of putting real truffle into things. They will put that in because it gives you the taste. But if you put too much in, it completely overpowers the whole dish, and it's fucking. It gives it like an earthy taste. So it was just a really strange. Everything else was really good on the plate, and then that was like a bit of dirt sitting in the corner. Do you know what I mean? And I said to Charlotte, they do it all the time. They put it on a pizza when I was at Pizza Express last time, and it ruined a pizza for me.
Man, I don't even think Pizza Express was still going.
Well, yeah, Pizza Express is big down there.
Okay, now I can't remember the last time I saw one. Maybe in Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's massive down here still. I think that's probably the most successful pizza place down here now.
Yeah, no, it's not big up here. Right, before this first email, before Karen's out there, I know there's not many on this podcast, but I can imagine this email is going to trigger some people.
No.
No, it's not for us. I don't think so. But I just want to say, like, the listener hasn't expressed any concern of insult towards his email, so everyone just keep that in mind before they start flustering.
I'm nervous.
A man from work has offered me $2,000 to send him a video of me masturbating, saying his name.
Oh dear.
At first, I thought it was a joke, but he's deadly serious. Is it bad for me that I'm tempted? I feel morally I've got to decline this offer. So the reason I said that at the beginning is because this guy's obviously gone up to a female co-worker, and as we said earlier when you were talking about sexual conduct, like she hasn't expressed that. This isn't an email where she's gone, some guys offered me money and I'm like completely insulted and I can't believe you. She's not like, she's tempted doing it. You know what I mean? So leave your comments at the door. My first instinct was like, I would do that for a lot cheaper. If you want to give my email, I'll do it for a hell of a lot cheaper.
I said to Charlotte, would she let me do it for $2,000? And she was like, yeah, because why would you not? And she was like, that's what most people, like, if you're on like a lower wage nowadays, that's what a lot of people would earn, like a month. So why would you not do like month's wages for free, tax free?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like we said, was it Brian's episode or something? And I was like, there's like doctors, teachers, like army people, like they're all leaving their jobs because it's so much more money making by like just taking your fucking clothes off and rubbing one out.
Considering today was the day that I did my sexual harassment training, this is not coming across very well. But obviously it's not me. I'm not in the work. It's not me, guys. I'm not in the workplace sending this shit to people. If I had $2,000 to send people for a masturbation video, I'd be a lot richer. Put it that way.
I could like, there'd be so many people like back in the day. If I had that money, I'd be like, "Would you masturbate for me?" You know what I mean? But you wouldn't get away with it. This guy's got some brass balls to be able to fucking. Well, he must know her.
We worked with a guy. He didn't do it in a sexual way, but we worked with a guy that did photography on the side.
Oh, he did, yeah.
and he did a little nude photography on the side, and like there was a guy that we know that had agreed to do it. I don't know if they actually did it in the end, but he agreed to do it with him, and that was like a weird situation, especially because we were young. That was all a bit like, ooh, what the fuck's going on here?
I think photography though is like a different, right? Like if
Bit
you're
more
asking
art for
for,
me,
yeah, a bit more tasteful.
yeah. But like the guys obviously laid it on the line to thing it, and if you're being tempted by it, 2 grand's 2 grand. Like I would just be like, if you're not that bothered, that's like your body could end up being on one of these sites or something. Just do it.
That's what I said in the email. I was like, because I imagine this email's time based because he's going to want to know. This is his Christmas present, right?
Oh yeah, to himself.
I was like, if you have any doubt about it, I wouldn't do it, right? Because once you've sold him the item, we'll call it an item, that's his. If he decides to show the workplace or he decides to put it on the internet or anything like that, which I don't think he would, if he's asking for you to say his name, it's going to be like a personal.
Yeah.
But the point I'm getting at is like once you've taken the money, he can do whatever he wants with it. So if you've got any doubt about it, I wouldn't do it because if he decides to show someone, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Like
the other thing that would put me off if it was me is the fact that I know him. So because I know him, I'll know like when we're standing at work together, he's like raw dogging me, like in his head. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm just like I'm like fucking looking at him, and he's like, you'll know that's what he's thinking because you know if he's paid 2 grand for it, he's had a grand old time. He's set himself up with lotion and all sorts back at home, lube going. Like he's probably took a Viagra to keep himself going for a while, and he's like got himself into a right old. If he's paying the money, that's an expensive video for him to not have a good old fucking wank over. Do you know what I mean?
it makes you like there's so many OnlyFans girls that would take that money. Like no, like he must really,
It must turn him on that he knows the person.
yeah, and the fact that he knows that he's probably got no chance, but he still wants to have that.
Like I know a guy that paid. Do you know that's? Oh, I can't remember what that site was called, where you could get prostitutes and stuff. Fever Street.
Fever Street. No, I've never heard of
Fever
that.
Street, yeah. It's I don't know if there's a US version, but Fever Street is like a prostitute thing. And I know a guy that figured out an OnlyFans girl was doing a tour around the UK, and you could pay her through Fever Street to sleep with her. So
Nice.
he paid like 300 quid or something, or 400 quid for like 15 minutes with her, and he like drove to fucking like Norwich or somewhere,
Fuck
slept
that.
with her, 15 minutes, 400 quid later, and then drove back, and then he was gone for like a few hours, and then like he did it during his fucking work shift, and he was back again. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, that's fucking crazy. Like you've taken off holiday during your work day to do it.
Yeah.
And then when he was telling me, I was like, it's got to be bollocks. But then he started showing me his transactions on Fever Street, and he's paid women a lot other women loads of money, but he's paid this one woman because he's always been a guy that I always thought was a bit weird. Never been in relationships, never like tries it with anyone when we're out.
Yeah.
But that's obviously what he does to get his ends away. And he said it was more of a turn on because he knew who she was, and he's been conferring with her. Where normally it's just anonymous. Really, he doesn't really know much about him.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't pay that. I mean, if you got like an hour, because did you see that thing about that woman that slept with like 100 guys in one day?
Yeah, that like Bonnie Blue or whatever her name is.
Yeah, they only got something like 3 minutes. Like she like basically, I didn't really look into it. I just saw a thing about how she broke down crying because it takes it out of you. I mean, sleeping with 100 guys in one day does fucking take it out of you. It's like soul crushing, right? It's a
Well,
fucking
every time the penis goes in and comes out, it's taking a bit of your soul away, isn't it?
yeah.
It's
But
like at the end of the day, for her, she's doing it to like get her OnlyFans up. But for me, like looking at it, I'll be looking at her thinking like there's a video and it's really like cringy where this geezer's turned up with his whole family. All the guys in his family have gone together to sleep with her.
fucking
And
hell.
then the like first video wasn't pixelated, but after it started spreading, they pixelated the faces. But his entire family of most of them guys would have been taken. They've got to be because they're like of age to be in marriages and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all standing there waiting together, like they're all got some pact going that they're all doing 3 minutes, and then she's like, "Who's first?" Then up the stairs, and then what the guy goes, "Me, definitely me," and then like she interviews him afterwards, saying, and he was like, "If I had more than 3 minutes, I would destroy you. I'll definitely be back." I was thinking, what is this world come to? Fucking hell.
That's fucking mental.
So if girls are doing this type of shit, doing a little masturbation video is nothing. So I think if you're having doubts over it, go for it. But
If you
don't go
have,
for it. I mean, fucking hell, I'm getting mixed up here. Don't go for it. But if you're thinking to yourself, I could do with that 2 grand. What's the worst that can happen? It will end up on a embarrassing me online. But really, what can people say? Everyone masturbates.
yeah, oh yeah,
Do you
for
know what I mean?
sure. Like I said, I would do it,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, no, I agree. If there's, like I said, if there's any doubt, like if you think yourself, oh, what if someone else sees it? Don't do it, because that's just going to play on your mind, and there's nothing you can do about it. You ain't going to give it back.
It could affect your mental health as well, worrying about it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you think yourself, oh, I could use the money, and why not? Then do it. But any sort of concern, then I would just leave it. Better off just leaving it. You know what I mean? And just be nice to the guy and be like, thanks, but no thanks. You filthy bastard. Poor guy. I'm seeing a crazy girl at the moment, but the sex is amazing. The crazy is starting to outweigh the sex now, and I'm not sure if I should cut it off while I can.
Get out of there while you still can, mate. Get out of there while you still can. Talking from experience, get out of there while you still can, mate.
For sure. I remember there was a girl I used to sleep with, and I used to see her like once in a blue moon because she was off her nut.
Mm.
And I remember the last time I saw her, it was 2 times. So I was at the flat where Ollie was on holiday. She came round and we had like, fooling around all day. When she left, and I was like, oh, that was fucking quality. Probably won't see her now for fucking ages. And a couple of days later, she wanted to come back. But like, I ain't got no more in me. I'm pretty, I was young, man. I was like pretty viral back then. But she comes back and I managed to go once and she's like, let's go again. And I was like, oh, you need to give me like a minute. And she fucking went mental. And she was like, I'm fucking leaving then. I'm like, I've only asked for like a minute. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, it's fucking shriveled right now. You've been tugging at it. Like, what if you don't want to fucking do it? Then I'm going to leave. And she calls a taxi. And I'm just like, I have no idea what's going on right now. And she's going fucking mental at me. And then that was the last time I saw her. She's gone.
Mate, there was one girl that I used to be. It was like casual between every time I had like a knockback, I would go to her,
But
and
yeah.
it was always like what I thought was like an agreed situation that we didn't really have nothing else to do with each other than if I like come back from a night out and she was up, I would go over, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And like if there was like a few nights out where I'd be like round my mate's house and I'd say to her, come over because I know I could go upstairs or whatever with her. And like she would do the same. I would just turn up at random places she was, and like if it didn't work out for guys for her, and I didn't think anything more of it, yeah. And then we never really had any deep conversations ever or anything like that. Never showed any affection for each other other than just fucking sex, yeah. And then one day she kept turning up at the shop when I was working at the shop.
But yeah.
I think she figured out where I was working, and she kept coming every night and was like trying to kiss me in like the middle of the shop when I'm in the middle of work. And at first it was a bit like okay, and she was like, "Come over mine after we finish," and I was like, "Okay." So then I'd finish and I'd go over, and then I realised every time I was on a late shift she was turning up. I was like, "This is getting weird." It's like she was actually knowing my schedule, and I was like, never telling her when I'm in. So she's either going in every single night to see if I was there, and then she started asking the guys that was if I weren't on the shop floor, she would ask the guys if I'm on the shop if I'm there. And then she kept coming every night. And then when I eventually said to her, "Oh, you're gonna have to stop coming to my work because people were making comments,"
Yeah.
she was like, went fucking mental. like fucking crazy, and was just like, "What? So you don't think that I'm worth it? You don't think we're together?" I was like, "I didn't even know we were together." She was like, "We've been together for 6 months." I was like, "What?" Like she's conjured this entire relationship up. We never said more than like 4 or 5 words to each other most of the time. It was fucking mental. Like I never had a meal with her. Nothing. We'd literally just have sex, and then I would go, or she would leave, whoever was at the other's house. It
Fucking
was like
hell.
weird as fuck. And then I remember after that, I was in the pub probably about 6 months afterwards in the barrels. Remember the barrels where they used to
Yeah.
have loads of pool tables? And some guy started at me, and she's sitting with him, and she's like telling him that I did all this stuff to her. I never did anything to her,
Oh, I
not
hate
once.
that. I hate that when they make up shit to like get their mates to, like start on you and stuff.
Yeah, and this guy's saying, if you knew who I was, you wouldn't be doing this, this, and that to her. And then that was the last I ever answered her a texts or anything. She messaged me that night after he tried to start on me. Then he realised I was with like 5 guys and was going to get battered if he didn't fucking get away from me. But it was such a weird situation to go through. And then she messaged a few times, but I just fucking ignored her. But crazy, man.
I remember this one girl I went to sleep with. She was like fucking. She had like metal all in her face and stuff, like a proper like goth girl.
Yeah.
And it was like her first time, and we tried to have sex, and I just couldn't do it. She was just crushing my penis. I couldn't do anything. Like it was like just impossible. So we just gave up. And then later on that day, I had this fucking angry message from this guy I went to college, and he's like, "How dare you get her pregnant?" And I'm like, "What do you mean get her pregnant? She's been gone like an hour." And he's like, "She said that you did this and you got her pregnant." I was like, "Mate," I was like, "Barely keep it up." I was like, "She was crushing me. It was like being in a fucking vice." Like I didn't do anything. She says she feels like she's pregnant. I'm like, "She says she feels like she's pregnant." I'm like, "Are you listening to your fucking self? What's going on here?"
Some fucking crazy fucking.
And he's like, "You promised you haven't done. What if she is?" And I'm like, "If she is, she's a fucking like miracle worker. It's going to be fucking Jesus." And I didn't speak to him after that. A fucking nut job, big fat bloke he was, a tosser. But yeah, crazy girls are not fucking worth it, man.
They're not. And the thing is, the crazy doesn't always show straight away. A lot of the time, if the sex is really good, you've got something to worry about, unfortunately.
That's like the worst comment ever. Anyone that listens to this is sort of like, "Oh, the sex is really good last night." Block just on Jamie's recommendation.
Just from like previous things, like I have a few girls that I can't even say a real name, but we call her Crazy, and then her name. She did some crazy shit, saying I did all kinds of stuff to her, and that I forced her to get an abortion with a screwdriver and all this stuff. And she showed people an appendix scar, and got like hundreds of guys at my college waiting for me and stuff like that. And I was fucking nearly getting battered. And it was just like, and then you see her in a club 3 years later, and she's saying hello to you as though there's nothing's wrong, smiling at you like the Cheshire Cat. And I'm thinking,
Yeah,
you nearly got me killed. You fucking crazy fucking bitch.
it just cracks me up. Like some of the thinking back to like back in the day, and you just think, like, I know I'm not gonna like think about domestic violence or anything like that, but it's so weird that like a man would just fucking hit you, but a woman will just try and ruin your entire existence, even if you've done nothing wrong. She'll go after your friends. She'll go after your family. She'll get her friends to go after you. She'll just make your life completely fucking hell. When I'd rather she just come up and just fucking hit me.
Yeah, I rejected a girl once, and she knew I had a girlfriend, but she knew I was sleeping with someone else. But she was trying to get with me anyway,
Mm.
and I rejected her. And then she made up some shit about my girlfriend to make me think that she was cheating on me. So then I went after this guy, had a fight with him for no reason, and then turns out there was fuck all going on, and it was just me getting played like a fucking fiddle. And then after all of that, she was then like taking my girlfriend at the time down to like where I was when I was with the other girl, and I wasn't ever doing anything with the other girl to get caught out. But because it was me and her 1-on-1, that used to get me into trouble all the time. I was thinking, how is this happening? How's this happening to me? And now when I look back on it, I was being manipulated the entire fucking time.
Yeah, when you're younger, you're just so eager to just fucking run after anyone. But
Yeah,
nowadays, I'd just be like, "Nah, it's all right.
yeah.
No, don't worry
I
about
was
it."
just like, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah, some guy come up to me and was like, "Oh, this person said that," and I'm like, "Did they?"
Mm.
I was just fucking just extinguish anything he's trying to. I don't care, mate. Like whatever. Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. I feel bad for like, although obviously we said before about all the, it's different now, isn't it? Like not a lot of people going out getting smashed and stuff like that. So it's different. So it'd be different for my brother and that.
Yeah, I think what makes things worse with people though is young people now is that they've got the social media side.
Mm.
So if you do something really embarrassing back in the day when we were young, never speak to that girl again. You don't see him for 10 years. If you do something really embarrassing now, they're on your fucking Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you could see cryptic messages on Facebook and shit like that. It's a horrible way to still feel the sting afterwards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. My God, I don't fucking do that. Yeah. Yeah. If you had your fun and she's getting more crazy than it's enjoy, I would just drop it. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it's fun to have, and it'll take you a while to find someone else like that. But the deeper you're in, the more crazy it will get when you break up with her.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like a lot of people are lovely, but some people are just they thrive off the drama of day to day life.
Yeah.
And like some people are not going to change; they're going to be doing that drama every day, all day, every day.
I'm going to tell this story, but people are going to be like, why'd you even bother? So my ex that I was with for like 3 years,
Mm.
2 years, 3 years. She moved up here anyway. I had previously been sleeping with her 2 years before that. And I remember I was out with my mates and she was like, she pulled one of my mates over and she was like, tell that guy with the glasses that I like him in that aggressive manner. And he cut to me and he was like, oh, that guy over there is, taking an eye to you. He's like, don't go near her. Don't even bother. So I'm like, oh, all right, then don't worry about it then. So like later on when I'm standing having a cigarette and I'm hammered, I see her and I'm like, eh. So I go over and I start talking to her.
As you
And
do.
then, yeah. And obviously we start sleeping together. We only did like a couple nights. But she starts telling me about how she'd been to prison because she'd killed someone.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd like he tried to attack her and she like defended herself and killed him. She was in prison for like a year or something. And I'm just like, oh well, if they're attacking you, why wouldn't you kill them? Like just making it seem completely normal. And then she just ghosted me and then come back and I end up dating her for 3 years. But you think when I realised who it was,
Mm.
like you're like, Dan, what's going on here?
I remember
But
you going to me, oh, it's the one from years ago. Do you remember? And I was like, what? And you
yeah,
was
the
like, the
one that
one that
killed
killed
someone.
someone. I was like, Anne, what are you doing, bro?
But again, the sex just started off as it was back then, so I was like, "This is pretty good."
Mm.
And then yeah, and she's just a chronic fucking liar, and I should have learnt my lesson. But yeah, back then you're just sort of like justifying it to yourself to keep the sex going.
But
You're like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, why wouldn't you kill him?"
you're in that bubble, aren't you? That's the thing.
Yeah, but good luck, enjoy it while you've got it. But yeah, if you see a way out, mate, take it. I have found out from a friend that my ex has finished with me just so she doesn't have to buy me a Christmas present and have a bit of a fling over Christmas, and that she is planning on getting back with me in January and moving back in. Give me strength to not let this person back into my life, guys. I'm seriously considering taking her back when she comes back.
Tell
So
her to suck her mum.
he threw me off when he wrote X. I would have written, my girlfriend has finished with me. God, fucking alcohol, man. Yeah, I would have written, my girlfriend has finished with me, but yeah, he's written my ex. Yeah, fucking, I just wrote block and delete. I was like, fuck that bitch.
Mate, honestly, like to even give her the time of day after you found that, I would make sure she knows you've caught her out as well. Don't leave it like, oh, I don't know how if it will work after the break or whatever. Say what, a £40 ASOS voucher ain't good enough, is it? That's what I would be like. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking dig right in there and just say who was the fling then for the week or whatever it
I
is.
wouldn't even. When I emailed him back, I didn't even. I said to him, "Block and delete, mate." I was like, "Send her a text message that says Merry Christmas, fuck you," and then block her. And I was like, don't even fucking bother. Just ignore it." What a fucking bitch, man! Like, what are you honestly expecting from a present that she wants to break up with you for? Like, I'm like Sabina's got me a few things, but I'm quite happy with like a cookbook. Like much more than that. Before Sabina, I didn't get fucking nothing. I think the only thing I ever got from anyone was a T-shirt, and it was too fucking small.
I think a lot of people, there is a lot of people that expect a lot and way too much at Christmas,
Yeah,
but that is like people that are unreasonable. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like in my head, if we didn't have enough money, like we're pretty brassy this Christmas, because of how many holidays we had this year and stuff. So me and Charlotte didn't go overboard like we normally do. But if we had a year where we were completely broke, we would just say to each other, we'll get something after, or do something special with each other. But obviously, this girl was not into you enough and not into the relationship enough to be able to even say that to you. Instead, she planned a whole. And I know guys that have done this. I know guys that did this a lot with like girls they were only going out with for a little time, and they would like split up with them around Valentine's Day because so they didn't have to get them stuff.
shit, yeah. I know people did that.
Yeah, and but like to even like the fucking cherry on the cake there is as well that she's looking to have a little fling while she's on the break. It's just why? Why would you plan? It's like planning that just makes it worse. I think that it just makes you a bad person, bad intentions, and not worth dealing with.
What makes me mad as well is that the fling part is that she's seeing if something's better,
Mm,
right? So she's going for this fling, and if it doesn't work out, she thinks she can come back and just. And when he was like, move in, I'm like, hang on a minute, she's fucking living with you,
yeah,
and she's like, I want to break up. She's going to move out, have a fling, and then she's going to be like, oh no, I was wrong. And no, fuck you,
and the confidence
fuck
she's
you.
got in her ability to get you back means that she's going to do it time and time again.
Yeah, you are so much better than that, man. Like, no one fucking deserves that at all. Not even for a second. Well, unless you're a fucking cheater, but then, you wouldn't be emailing in. But like, fucking, yeah, no. Not even, I wouldn't even bother. Fuck that. It's so, like, when I read it, I couldn't fucking believe it. I went home to Spina. I was like, listen to this. I was like, she deserves a special place in fucking hell for shit like that.
Mate, that just shows how manipulative some people are. And it just shows that some people don't care about other people. Like, people can be in relationships with people and not give a shit about them. Because that's the lack of empathy she's got towards him. She's basically saying that he is that like fucking sad that he's gonna sit like waiting for her just to decide that she wants to go back with him. And then that, what was that got? How was that going to affect his confidence? Then him knowing that if you were to get back, if he was to get back with her, him knowing that she knew that he was in her eyes a sap,
Yeah.
like is that going to affect his confidence? Of course it will.
The thing that gets me and that I've been before, and I was, very much still in after I've done like the coaching and stuff like that, that I felt like I deserved it. Like,
Yeah,
this is it. Like, I've got her. She's as good as I'm going to get. And I deserve the shit that trickles down from a fucking asshole on top of my head. And I tell you right now, like, once you're out of it, it's scary because obviously if she was living with you, then you're in like a routine together.
yeah, you're back to normal.
Yeah, yeah. But don't get her back, man. Just fucking, you do deserve better. Like, you don't deserve to be treated like that. No one does.
There's someone out there for everyone. There is someone out there for everyone, and that will treat you in the right way. And it's horrible. We've get a lot of girls, a lot of boys on here, a lot of men, a lot of theys, lots of thems, fucking writing in, saying like they're accepting circumstances that shouldn't be accepted. And sometimes you need to hear like the fucking hard truth, and the hard truth is these people are taking a piss. Do you know what I mean? And you need to get away from them because they're just taking advantage of your kindness.
Yeah. That's what I mean. They see, like, when you've had like trauma and stuff like that, like I said, I've been through it and I felt like I deserved it and stuff like that. And you don't. You don't deserve it. Like, you're in this spiral because the way they treat you makes you feel that way. But you don't, man. You're better than that. You deserve all of the things that come towards you, but get rid of that. Fucking block and delete. Send her a message and say whatever you were planning is fucking rumbled, love. You fucking bitch. And I hope you enjoy your fling because it's going to be fucking permanent, or you'll be living on the street. Sleg.
What would please me a lot is if I figured out. Whoever told me the information would be able to figure out eventually who the name is of the fling, and then I'll just be like, enjoy your time with Martin, and block it. That would absolutely, because they don't even give them a chance to answer. That's even better. Not give them a chance to answer. You know? When they're typing, block. When you see the typing bit, block.
And then they only get one tick. They don't get
Yeah,
any more fucking ticks.
you cannot communicate with this person any longer.
Yeah, fucking dick. Hope you have a really good Christmas either way. Like, your Christmas will be much better without fucking her. I tell you that much. It feels shit now, but I tell you right now, it's not going to be. And if you ever, if she messaged you and you feel like you're going to break, we have our social media. You got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, anything like that. If you drop us a message on there, you're more than likely going to get a quicker response, and we will back you up to the ends of the earth, man. Do not back down.
Don't back down, man.
No. But good luck, man. We're here for you. Have a good Christmas. New Year. Forgot what episode we're on. I got to say, going to the shops is a chore for me too. I agree with Jamie. I found myself in TK Maxx totally and utterly overwhelmed with the people pushing and shoving, standing in my way. Then when I try to find somewhere to stand while the other half shops, I have people barging past me. In the UK, the high street has died, and I think partly it's down to the general public manners. I noticed some stealing as well, but I didn't say anything, even though that really grinds my gears. I wish I had now. After that shopping trip, I was put off for life, and I think a lot of people are nowadays. I'd rather have a nice pub lunch and enjoy my Saturdays. Do you agree? Yeah, TK Maxx is a terrible. Like, I love TK Maxx. Don't get me wrong, because you get some quality stuff in there for like half the price, but it is a terrible laid out shop.
I think it's done deliberately. I think, to be honest, it's almost like a jumble sale, but inside of a shop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I've had, like as I said, yet on the last episode, I had a horrendous time in Tesco's just trying to get some fucking alcohol for a night out because all the Christmas shoppers are in there, and like I've seen video after video of fucking people in shopping centres causing chaos because they're just looking for tins of sweets and stuff, and I just think these people need to like realise like general space, like my if I'm in a place in a shopping centre, say. I'm not interested in getting inside your coat. I'm not interested in getting involved in your family discussion. Like I've said to you before, I was standing in a Tesco's and I was fully standing in the middle of a family discussion. Like the entire family had surrounded my trolley and were like talking over the top of me when I'm standing there. And it's just like, do you know I'm here? Like I'm standing right here. I'm not a small person. Like fucking get out of my fucking way. And TK Maxx does it for me as well. A lot of the time, if Charlotte wants to go into TK Maxx, I will stand outside because I can't be fucking bothered with it. But I do think that is part of the reason the high street is dying. Obviously, with the rise of internet like sales and stuff, it's easier to buy stuff online than it is in person. But sometimes it is nice to go and physically see the stuff.
Yeah.
But I am put off. Like Charlotte was talking about being in Primark today, and there was like a load of nice jackets and stuff. And she was like, "You should come down, and it would be nice to get a jacket for like Portugal to leave in the villa for the winter because it will be like 20 quid, and it's not going to cost me a bomb. And I can leave it out there."
Mm.
But the thought of going into fucking Primark and dealing with all them fucking cunts.
Primark is terrible. The
Yeah,
queuing in Primark is a fucking joke.
yeah, it's horrendous. And I just think to myself, do I want to? I would rather pay another 20 quid and buy a jacket and not have to deal with anyone. Do you know what
I
I mean?
agree. Like, people's since COVID, like, it was bad
It
before
seems
that,
to get
but
worse.
yeah, COVID just caused people to be fucking wankers,
Mm,
and I really just can't fucking stand it. Even like the driving to these places drives me mad. Like, I just can't.
yeah,
I don't even want to get out of the fucking car.
yeah, it's horrible. I was at a petrol station after work last week. A small child, like I would say probably about 16, 17 years old, well, teenager,
Mm.
turns to me. I didn't realise at the time he was a gypsy. And he looks me directly in the eyes and he goes, "What are you looking at, fatty?" to me. Yeah. And I looked up And I'm in a world of my own. I looked up, I looked him in the eyes, and I said, "Are you talking to me?" I looked behind me, and there was like this big African guy behind me. And I was like, I looked at him again. I said, "Are you talking to me?" And he was like, "Yeah." I goes, "How old are you?" Like an old man would say. And he was like, "Don't worry about how old I am, you fucking pedo." And I was like, "What?" And then I'm just looking at him. I was like, "You're lucky." I said the most street thing I haven't said. I've never said anything so street in the last fucking 10 years. Like the old jams from fucking back in the day come out. I goes, "You're lucky I can't catch a case right now." Yeah, and he stood back and he was like, he looked at me, and then he went into the shop, and I'm standing there pouring my petrol into the fucking car, and I'm fucking losing it because I'm thinking, who the fuck is this little cunt? And I'm just like pouring it in, trying to get the nozzle out quick enough so I can go in and speak to him again. I go in, and then I realise he's absolutely racially berating the fucking staff because they're all like Asian guys.
Yeah.
He's been racist as fuck. He's fighting, trying to play fight against the fucking um, security guard. I realise he's a gypsy kid. So I'm like, right, okay, so you can't punch a fucking young gypsy kid in the face because what's going to happen? You're going to end up with the whole of the gypsy camp chasing you. Yeah. So I calm down and I'm just standing in the queue watching him be aggressive to all these people. And then he comes past me and he goes, "I didn't mean it, by the way. Sorry." And then just kept walking. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And then when I come out the thing, his car wouldn't start. And like he was trying to start the car and it just wouldn't start. And it's just going and I was just thinking, that's you, you little cunt. That's
Yeah.
your own fault for being a little wanker. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, because I'd answered him back, he'd obviously apologised to me. But he just terrorised them staff, and it just brought me straight back to 10 years ago when they used to like all these little shits used to come in and think they owned the place, and you'd be going through the things. And I think that's part of the reason now I hate being in like retail shops because I know how bad it is for the staff having to deal with these people and they're all assholes. Do you know what I mean? I know Gypsy's an extreme because obviously they do whatever they want, but they're an extreme of what the public people have become.
I haven't seen a gypsy in fucking years. So I don't even know
Mate,
if I could tell him, like, if I could be like, oh, that's a gypsy now.
I
Like, that's
couldn't
how
tell
long.
straight away. He was a kid in a tracksuit, so I was just thinking, oh, he's just a rough kid.
Yeah.
But then you hear the accent, and I'm like,
Yeah, I suppose.
it's
Yeah.
part Irish, part English. You're saying to your man all this racist shit, and I was just thinking, fucking hell. Thank fuck I didn't start on him out there. But then he's protected. Then that's why he is a mouthy little bastard. Do you know what I
But
mean?
yeah, they always are.
He's protected. Then that's why he's calling like full-grown men names because he knows if anything happens to him, the whole fucking camp's coming out. And it's just like unbelievable. And I was just thinking to myself, that is what when this email come through, that's what it made me think of. I was just
Yeah.
like, I had that interaction, and that was at a quiet petrol station. Like people were just assholes,
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah, they are for sure.
like they're the extreme, like the gypsy people are the extreme of it, like the kids, because normally when they grow up they get a bit better, but when they're kids they're a little shits, and they're the extreme of it. And then we've got people like that in our fucking Primarks and people like that in our fucking Tesco's and Waitrose or wherever you go to shop. TK Maxx, you got all these scummy people just fucking mixing with you. Some of them haven't bathed in a week and they're trying to invade your fucking personal space.
Oh, I don't like the fucking. Where was I the other day? And I was like, "What is that smell?" And some guy walked past me. I'm like, "Fucking hell, I'm going out of here." I was gonna say I'm slowly becoming one of them reduction people,
Oh, no, Dan, no.
but only for one item. So like, when I finish work about 4 o'clock, and just I've been going to like Marks and Spencers because it's on the way to Sabina's flat, and just that happens the time that I go in there, they're doing reductions at the same time, and it still drives me mad. Like I went round to the where the sandwiches and that were, and there was this massive crowd. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then you just see this little fucking guy crouched down
Trying to do
trying to
his
do the
best to get his job
labels.
done.
Yeah, yeah, and they're all over the top of him, and I'm like, fucking animals. And I go around the corner. And then, so everyone obviously knows I can't have dairy and stuff like that. In Marks and Spencers, they do 2 pots of, it's like a cookie crumble dessert thing.
Okay.
Fucking hell, it's delicious, man. But these 2 pots are £5,
So
and
it's expensive.
they're fucking tiny.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I bought them one day just to try them, and I'm like, fuck, these are delicious, but I ain't buying these all the time. And then I went in the next day, and like 4 of them were fucking reduced. So I was like, bang that, I'm gonna buy them. And then I'm like, I wonder if they're reduced today. So the last like 2 weeks, every day I've been going into Marks, walking down the aisle and seeing that there's none there, and then walking out again. I'm not even buying anything else. I'm just like, oh, I wonder if them pots are fucking.
They're gonna start calling you fucking cookies and creams, man. You know we always had names for the fucking regular
Oh
customers doing
mate, they're
weird
so
shit.
good though. They're so good. They're like, it's like a cheesecake, but it's got like bits of Oreos.
One of the reduction people when I worked in the smaller shop in the posh area, he used to have boot polish on his head. His hairline was gone, so he used to boot polish his head in and his beard, everything, the whole thing. So he used to be jet black, like black on his skin, like entire face and hair. Yeah, he always smelt weirdly of like Bassett all sorts or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was like some weird sweet dust he smelled like.
Yeah.
And I was like, the younger kids that worked there, I say kids, like 18, 19 years of age, they were always laughing at him. And he like complained to me one day saying, he asked for the manager, I'll come out. And he complained to me saying that the girls on the till were laughing at him when he comes in. And I was like looking at him and I'm thinking the obvious, like you're wearing boot polish on your head. Like they're laughing at that. Like, how do I get around that? Because other than saying, look, you're wearing boot polish on your head, how do I word this? So I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. It must be a misunderstanding. I'll speak to them. Da, 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 da. And then I bring the girls into the office and I goes, what I know, we kept calling him boot polish, yeah. I was like, I know boot polish is coming in every day for reductions. Why are you laughing at him? And it's nothing to do with the boot polish. It's because apparently after he says anything, he used to go, like that. Like Mr. McKay they were calling him Mr. McKay out of fucking South Park.
Oh,
So
Mr.
that,
Mackey.
yeah. But they were like laughing at that, so they would get him to say stuff at the till. They would be like, "Do you have a card?" And he would be like, "No," like that. And like it became a game between the two of them to get the one to say it, and they were laughing in front of him. I was just like, "Okay, the game's got to stop, girls." I was like, "I know he's a funny guy, but we've got to stop it." And then when he came back in to ask if I'd spoke to them, he's doing like a whole commentary to me, and all I'm hearing is through the whole thing. And I'm just like, bruv, just like, fucking, what do you want? I was like thinking to myself, do you want a voucher or something to fuck off and get away from me?
Brilliant. Right, before we end this episode, is there any, we've got to do that normal shit for the New Year's. Is there any New Year's resolutions for the next year that you're going to not do?
Well, usual stuff. I've stopped smoking obviously 2 years now, nearly.
Oh, well done, man. That's cool.
So I don't get me wrong, I have had cigarettes on nights out, but I've never gone back to being full blown smoking again. I don't vape anymore either. I think it's just working on weight loss, getting my fucking weight back under control, as always. What about you?
Probably trying to continue fixing my stomach issues.
Yeah.
I'm a lot better now than I was like 2-3 months ago. But it's like an ongoing thing, right? Like I feel better, but I still have attacks, and it's a lot down to my mentality around food. And I'm just going to continue with like the coaching. Obviously, I'm on the wait list for therapy for the NHS and stuff like that. So really, that's my main goal. But I'd love to. Last year, obviously, with everything that went on, we went to check like 4 or 5 times. Like we didn't really get a proper holiday or anything like that. So next year, I think the goal is to actually go somewhere else together. Like me and Sabina are so we're on the verge of like people pleasing, but it's like we'll be like, oh, we'd love to go here, and then someone will be like, oh, why don't you come here for holiday? And we're like, all right then. So like,
yeah.
going out for a meal Friday was the first time we went for a meal on our own, because every time we talk about doing something, someone's like, oh, I'm
You end up doing
free.
something with someone else.
Yeah. So we're not very good at like just being selfish. I'd like to be a little bit more selfish next year. That's what I'd like to be. be able to say no to someone because I want to spend time with Sabina, just me and her.
Yeah, I think it'll make you guys stronger as well. It definitely
Yeah,
will make you guys stronger.
but it's like a team effort, right? Because she's just as bad, so
Yeah.
it's gonna
It
be
is hard when like if you look at my schedule all the time. I'm fucking always doing stuff with other people constantly, and it's hard. It's hard to say no sometimes. And sometimes you got to.
yeah, for sure. What are your hopes for the podcast for the next? Well, I'm not gonna say
I
year because our year's in April or something, but like till next Christmas.
till next Christmas. I hope we have plenty more guests on. We'll get. I think I'll put a lot more effort in when it comes to trying to get guest bookings on, like as regards to chasing these people. Because a lot of the time, if I don't get much of a response, I just fucking stop. And yeah, just keep it growing. If we get to our year podcast, we decide we're going to do the Brewdog thing and meet up and do the Brewdog thing. That'll be a good thing to do. Or do a few more specials, have a few people on.
Yeah, I'd be quite happy if we managed to do the BrewDog thing and just met one listener that we don't speak to. That'd be a pretty big achievement for me. I'd be pretty chuffed that we've managed to get one person to come down and meet us. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. That would
That'd be
be
pretty
good.
good. I really want to try and push myself to do the social media. Like I have all these ideas for like TikToks and stuff like that. Not even like dancing or anything, like just like talking and like interacting with like the people. But I've just got this such a bad, I don't want the negativity. I know it comes with it. Everyone's going to get it. Like the world's a massive place. But that one comment, I think it comes back to like being in shops where you're constantly getting berated by customers. And it's
Yeah, and you've
like,
got to kind of. It's hard because like you don't want to snap back, but at the same time you do.
yeah, you got to like stand up for yourself. 'Cause you don't want to post a video and then someone gives you some shit and you're like, so
Well,
I'm
it's
like
like
really,
when I was doing the lives, when I was like, going on the lives and stuff. Sometimes you'd be in things and you have a good conversation, and you maybe get one or two followers from it, and then you go into another one, and like these people are just like a pack of wolves waiting for someone that's not in their group
mm,
to start on, and then like obviously our name being what it is, it could cause controversy just because they don't even look at what we're actually about.
yeah,
And sometimes it was just causing chaos, and then I'll just get a load of abuse on some lives, so then I just stop fucking doing it.
that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. But we're not going to grow unless we start getting on it. So that's going to be one of my massive, because like doing one video on the YouTube is much easier. So I just think to myself, just got to get over it. Just got to get over it. You know what I mean? And get
It is
on it.
hard, man. Negativity is shit, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people are assholes on the internet.
That's what we do in this, right? Though, because like you can't go anywhere without people treating you like garbage. So we want listeners to email in so we can have a conversation and not, treat them like shit when they've got something going on.
Yeah,
But to get more people to help, we have to put ourselves out there to get shit. I mean, it's like fucking hell. It's like digging yourself out of a fucking hole to try and help people. I mean,
yeah. I think we've got like a good base listenership. We just need to see if we can grow it.
yeah, because there's loads of people out there that are struggling and have something to say and just haven't found a shit. But we'll do it. Next year's another year, and we're going to keep getting stronger and stronger. So, but yeah, it was a pretty good. Pretty happy that we don't drink on these anymore because I need
Yes,
a
it knocked
wee
me for six.
again. I'm burping constantly. Like I've got heartburn now. Like I'm too old for this shit, Jay. I'm too
Too
old.
old, mate. Too old. On that note, we'll end it there. And of course, new year, new people, new problems. So send in your emails, send in your feedback, your questions, and your content ideas for the show at twomennnohope@gmail.com. And of course, all the merch and the Essence Vault links are still going. So if you want to still help us to support the show, get involved. And I'll see you in the next one.
See you later, man.